This video will cover a time lapse of shading a still life in colored pencil. This is the reference that I was working from. I'll leave it up in picture as I'm going through the time lapse so you can see what I was looking at. Our first step is to draw our outlines in pencil, starting with placeholder shapes, then refining shapes and details. I'm not going to cover this too in depth in this video because that was the subject of my last video, which I'll link in the description, but just so you can get an idea of where we're starting from. So we're developing our outlines and then kind of erasing and cleaning up so when we color and we have a nice blank surface to work on. These are the colored pencils that I used for this demo, just the basic 12 color Crayola, so pretty basic. My first step is to create the base layer color with a light touch. And I want to make sure that I'm keeping my pressure nice and light for this because I want to leave myself room to develop the additional colors. The way I do this is I hold the pencil from the back end, so it helps me to get the appropriate amount of pressure. I'm just going through and kind of coloring everything in, whatever color it would be, but again, keeping it very light. I like to put a little color in the background right from the start as well. Next, I'm going to go back through using the same colors, but now I'm pressing down a little bit harder where I see shadow areas. So again, same color going through where it would be dark. I'm going to press down and do another layer for this, but using the same colors as I did in the first step. For some of the objects like the onion and the garlic, those actually have multiple colors on their surface, so that's why there are multiple colors on some of the objects. And I'm also starting to develop my cast shadows. My next step is I'm going to continue to push the shading, but now I'm incorporating additional colors such as blue to show the shadows and yellow to show the light areas. As I do this, I like to really go through and take my time and do one object at a time. And you might notice I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between the light and shadow colors, but also the color that the surface of the object itself was. Sometimes that gets a little bit lost as you start to shade, so it's kind of hopping back and forth between the surface color and the shadow color. And again, continuing to push in my background and on my surface as well. Those are part of the drawing too. My next step is to refine and develop textures and details while continuing to perfect my drawing. So at this point, I will go in and use a little bit of black, but I only like to use a little bit and I like to use it pretty sparingly just for those really dark areas that you can't get any other way. So I'm kind of popping those out, crisping up my edges, pushing my contrast, and also making any little marks to show texture on the object, kind of like the onion skin or like the garlic skin or whatever it may be. And I really like to darken up right against my edge in the background. It will pop the objects and push them forward. Now this last step, I'm going to go over everything with a white colored pencil to blend the colors together. This is an optional step. This is kind of a stylistic choice. I don't always do this, but some people do like to do this. It just makes your work look very rich and very vibrant. And if you can't stand those little paper marks that are coming through, this helps to get rid of them and kind of press the colored pencil pigment together. And then for my very last step, I sometimes take a white gel pen and just do a couple little highlights. You can't get them any other way. Here's how it came out. So I'm pretty happy with it. Notice there's color on the entire thing, a sense of light and dark and shadow. There's color balanced throughout, and it really does take a lot of time to do this. Hope this video helps you to see the process of drawing a colored pencil still life and the time that it takes, and gives you a little peek into it and helps you as you work on your own colored pencil drawings. Thanks for watching.